Would you believe we're back with Jan from Tesla Fix because we got a little bit long on the last one and we just got to discuss BMW. Their numbers are collapsing. It's so tragic. It's so awful. If only I had someone in Europe who could provide some perspective and a do. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla weekend. Jan, what is going on, man? The sky's falling.
Hi, everybody. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be here on again because last time we've discussed the German numbers, right? Also because more from the lens of China, the Chinese EVs and everything. But I wanted to highlight something again here, which is the sales numbers of BMW, actually, which is pretty interesting because we had a development there which is pretty interesting and a little bit surprising, I would say, because here we have the global quarterly BEV sales per brand Q1 2021 till Q2 2023. And we can really see that on the bottom here, there's Q1, and on the right in angel blue, bright blue, and in beige. Over there, the BMW group really grew steadily. And compared to VW's BEV sales, this is pretty crazy because VW is much, much bigger than BMW, you have to understand here. And if you see right on this chart, you could really see it's around 80,000.
Wow.
They sold in Q2, which is a huge number, not including plug-in hybrid EVs that they also sell. It's just BEVs. And this is pretty surprising because the BMW group just consists of, especially of the BMW brand, of course, and Mini is also part of that. And that might indicate this because I think the Mini sales are also pretty interesting. So the Mini Cooper sales, for example, the Minis also have EV variants in Europe, and I think they also account to a lot inside of the group. But it's crazy to see that and compare it to Q1 of VW here. They are almost the same if you look at the numbers. Of course, on the right, the giant over there, this isn't just a huge hill. That's Tesla, actually. And you see the growth rate there. So no comparison to Tesla still, but at least they are bigger than Mercedes, for example, which is interesting, bigger than Audi.
So we don't have the Mercedes Q2 number, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Now, how much bigger is Mercedes than BMW?
Mercedes is, a luxury brand. That's why a little bit smaller. You could say that, but still, they are similar. And you have to also note that Audi is not included in the VW numbers here. So this is not VW Group. The VW Group, of course, includes Porsche, includes Skoda, includes Audi, and includes Cupra, I think. I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure.
So between Mercedes and BMW, how big is each one? About the same?
What VW between?
No, not VW. Mercedes and BMW.
I think Mercedes is a little bit smaller than BMW in terms of sales because they are targeting different markets.
Sure.
BMW is targeting more the Audi customer, the VW customer, more the mass market or the higher mass market. Not the super exclusive high-end segment like Mercedes, but because they also have the Maybach and something like this. And
sure.
But,
yes, they have.
So, but the VW group, of course, has also their luxury brands. But BMW, So
comparing BMW's remarkably strong sales to VW, who is 10 times bigger,
but it's crazy. But you have to add the Audi numbers, the Skoda numbers, and the Porsche numbers as well.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So it gets a little bit higher, but it's still pretty interesting. Just the VW brand, which is also should be very strong. The BMW brand seems to catch up, and VW really is the mass market brand here in Germany. That's why this is pretty relevant. And maybe we can just switch over to another slide I have, or do you want to add something?
Go for it.
Okay. I'm going to switch over here. And here are 3 tweets that I picked out because I think yeah. So this chart was also shared by Alex, and he has a pretty grim view on the German auto market. He's pretty fed up with the Germans in that sense. And I highly recommend you following him as well, because I mostly agree with him, but also I'm here. I want to give diverse opinions on this topic here from Germans. That's why I brought this up. So he says that the BMW Group delivered in Q2 a total of 88,289 BEVs, which is slightly more than in Q4 of last year. And the BEV sales compared with the same period last year was plus 117%, which is like a huge growth rate for BMW, which is great. So the overall sales increased by 11.3% or 4.7% year to date, which is considering the downturn in the modest, it's like the
first half of 22.
Yeah, exactly. And compared to the BEV growth of other brands, the BMW Group is falling despite its 117% growth, which includes the Mini brand further behind Tesla and the Chinese automakers. So here's the downturn. So, of course, if you compare it really much, but it's still a significant growth rate, which is okay. And we could look into this a little more. So Simon Bowder, that I also interviewed on my channel, one day he also said it's not too little too late for BMW. The customers are mostly stubborn but loyal ICE fans, and the growth of their BEV sales here is incredible, almost VW level, despite being 1/4 of their total size. So here's the answer. It's 1/4 of their total size. You say Tesla has demand, room to grow. Why doesn't BMW have too? Yeah, so I thought this was interesting. And also Kura Cars of Twitter said that the percentage of EVs compared to the overall sales of legacy brands needs to be equal or higher as the global percentage of EV adoption. I think BMW is doing okay on that metric, although in China they might be losing. Which is also true. So that's why I've wanted to add this and share this with you, because I think it's interesting to have this on the lookout that BMW's percentage is like the growth rate is accelerating right now. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
Comparing it to Tesla's growth during the same period is not the best thing to do. Tesla had a brand new factory dedicated to the European market that is capable of tremendous volume. Of course, their numbers increased. They were expected to. That was the entire plan. That's like looking at when Volkswagen discontinued the e-Golf in favor of the ID3 and 4 and Skoda and all that. Of course, Volkswagen had a big jump. They had a new factory. That was expected. These companies will have their new factories, and when they do, they will have their new volume production, their new volume leaders. So I would agree with you, based on this, that it is definitely too early to be calling BMW, to be saying that they're in trouble. And they do have their internal combustion sales to fall back on.
Yep.
And a lot of their customers, I think, want the noisy engine. They like the roar of the it's a performance, it's a premium performance vehicle. No one's going to mistake a BMW 3 Series for a Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes makes very comfortable, very quiet cars, and BMW does too. But really, in the U.S. at least, I think they call themselves the ultimate driving machine.
In Germany as well, yeah, that's their DNA. Totally.
Yeah,
and you have to see that BMW has pretty hardcore ICE fans, really much. I'm totally with you in that sense that they have this fan base. Pretty much, but I also think they have a chance with their Mini brand actually to expand the mass market, because the Mini brand is not in that segment, and they don't have the problem with Mini. They don't have the problem with those gearheads, like those internal combustion engine gearheads that that think that's an atrocity. They do EVs, and but take everything I've said also again with a little grain of salt, because you have to imagine that BMW has the plan, or the leadership of BMW said they want to have at least 50% EVs, or including plug-in hybrids, in 2030, around that time frame. And So they don't plan to grow as much. Overall, the next 7 years, they try to produce around 8 million. They said around 8 million cars, EVs or PVs also included in that time period. But that means overall, not year over year, of course.
Right.
So this means, steadily they try to ramp this up, but they plan to have 50% internal combustion engine cars going forward from 2030, which means going forward to 2035, where Europe banned ICE cars, actually. It's a pretty dangerous game they're doing there. So that's what I wanted to add here.
That's why some German brands are wisely inventing 17 new internal combustion engines.
Yeah, models, you're talking about VW right now.
Yeah, yes. Volkswagen is very clever in that regard. You know what? Let's do the opposite.
Let's do everything around. And I think they will lobby hard against this law. I have to add this here as well. But we will see how this unfolds.
I agree. They would have more success lobbying against it if others were struggling as well. There are times when like in the US, they said digital TV must replace analog by this certain date. And I worked in the broadcast electronics industry at the time when that mandate was handed down. And immediately, there was no lobbying pushback. They just went to him and said, there are not enough manufacturers of digital broadcast equipment in the world to do that transition in that time frame. You have to extend it. You just have to. And they wisely came back and said, like literally, there are not enough installers to change out the antennas in the time allowed. They don't exist. And so they were able to extend it due to that. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's going to be enough manufacturers making enough cars that when they come back and say, hey, look, nobody can do it, they'll say, did you say nobody or just you? Because it looks like it's just you. And you are selling some, sell more. Or don't. I mean, people are already the cars already exist. People are already buying them. They're here. A lot of the EV mandates I think we've seen only became possible because Tesla pushed so hard and so fast.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And proved that we can do this. That you can make a competent, capable, effective, compelling car for a price that people can actually afford, that are actually cost competitive. And I still see it every now and then on Twitter. Yeah, well, that's great, but I can't spend $100,000 on a car. Why would you? Why would you do that? Well, I only spend
a Toyota Corolla.
I only spend $8,000 and buy used cars. You can get a Leaf for that price, my friend. You can get a Bolt for probably $12,000 used. Well, I don't want that. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Well, you're just then you are not anyone's demographic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to please a customer that it doesn't exist.
Yeah. But I think again on the perspective of the European market, I hope that German legacy car brands don't make the mistake and put more money into R&D to change the law than to put it into R&D into their own cars actually and to push this forward. I mean, all their patents again are in the internal combustion engine technology, and that's why they kick, they scream, they try to bite. That's what they do, and they will continue to do that until it's game over, until the dawn of time. And my fear is that, of course, the German government in Germany will step in and just, pay all the workers for a thing that's not working.
Crazy. Crazy, not impossible. So in the comments, guys, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? If you're not already a supporter of the channel, you got to help me out because this stuff costs money, and YouTube is famously the devil. You can help me on Patreon. You can become a channel member. You can subscribe over on Twitter. All those things have some kind of perks, I imagine. Who knows, man?
Who knows? Maybe you can check it out. You have to check it out.
There's one way to know for sure.
Get behind the paywall and see for yourself. Do you dare?
But the real thing is, it's just leave it in the comments. But the real thing is, I just need support, and I appreciate it. So, let us know in the comments what we miss, what do we misunderstand. Stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots in Europe.
As well. So, bye, everybody, from TeslaFix as well.